Well, it's certainly better than the first one. Four Musketeers, released in 1974 and is directed by Richard Lester, who has also directed such films like A Hard Day's Night, Superman 2, Superman 3, and A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. And this movie is starring Oliver Reed, Raquel Welch, Richard Chamberlain, Michael York, Frank Finley, Christopher Lee, Geraldine Chaplin, Jean-Pierre Cassel, Simon Ward, Faye Dunaway, and Charlton Heston. And the reason why we're talking about the Four Musketeers today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my contributors and supporters on this channel, Zachariah Kennison. Thank you very much for the recommendation. Of course, the other day I reviewed the prequel to this film called The Three Musketeers, and this was a part of your big sword fight swashbuckling donation bundle that you sent my way. I believe this is the last one, so we'll see what other recommendations you send my way going forward. And I'm happy to report that this sequel is definitely better than its original one. The bar was very low, so I think anything could be better than the original film. It's not great, but it's definitely better. We're moving in the right direction here. D'Artagnan has just been made a musketeer of the King's Guard in Paris. But one day his beloved Constance is kidnapped by the Cardinal's right-hand man Rochefort because Constance is constantly getting in trouble, and D'Artagnan enlists the help of the Three Musketeers to help him get Constance back. And also on the other side of the story, the Cardinal enlists the help of Milady de Winter to blackmail the Duke of Buckingham so that he doesn't send aid to the rebels. And the Musketeers catch up with Rochefort and his men, and a big-ass sword battle ensues. And right off the bat, I have to give this film kudos for not going so ham on all of the sword fights that they did in the first movie. The first movie, it felt like every couple of minutes, and after every small little section of dialogue and conversation, there was a sword battle, and a very sloppy one and terrible one at that. Here we only get a handful of sword fights, and I appreciate that. I like that. We spend time with characters, and we spend time with story. It's amazing how doing that in a movie instantly improves it. That being said, though, the ADR is still frickin' terrible, and I've already gone on a little rant with that in the very first review. I don't want to go much further into it. The ADR, it continues here. It's very bad. But we definitely get more time and spent more with these characters, even though we don't spend a lot of time with our main characters, the Three Musketeers and D'Artagnan. I guess, well, it's the Four Musketeers in this movie. It's called The Four Musketeers. I should call them The Four Musketeers. We actually spend a lot more time with Milady de Winter, played by Faye Dunaway, which you would think in a movie called The Four Musketeers that we would spend time with the Four Musketeers. But no, we spend time with this kind of secret female assassin going around and kind of slowly killing all these people, almost like a Black Widow spider. She's a woman who was condemned to death and then went into hiding and then made her way all the way up to the Cardinal's favor, so now she's like the go-to person to get things done around here. But there is a connection between Milady de Winter and Athos, who is played by Oliver Reed. Again, my favorite performance and actor in this movie. He's the one that seems the most natural out of all these people, even though in the previous movie he got stabbed in the throat, but then when we cut back to him, it's just his arm in a sling. So frickin' stupid. Here, I like him again. I like his performance. He's the most natural out of everyone. His ADR doesn't sound as terrible as everyone else's. And when we get to our final battle scene, the big climactic battle scene, the Musketeers are storming the castle to save Constance. It's a pretty epic battle, and I enjoy it. We got towers on fire, and the fighting, the actual sword fighting that's going on is actually very impressive. D'Artagnan doesn't look like a frailing little wet dog trying to take out Rochefort. And I guess this time, with D'Artagnan running Rochefort through, that means that Rochefort is dead, right? This time? Because in the first movie, they also got into a little scuffle, and I saw D'Artagnan run the man through. Like, one half of the sword was on the one side of him, and the other part of the sword, the pointy part, was on the other side of him. But apparently you lived through that. Here, though, not in this movie. So I'm assuming that he's not alive anymore. He looked dead. Christopher Lee looked dead. I know he's dead in real life. In this movie, his character, Rochefort, looked dead. He's dead, right? You've got to be fucking kidding me. But Michael York doesn't seem so over the top in this movie, even though, again, his ADR, very, very terrible, but he seems more refined and he seems more, I guess, mature in this movie. He doesn't have that nervous energy. He's not rambling and running all over the place. He's actually refined and kind of reserved, even when he gets into those final battle scenes with Rochefort and he's trying his best to kill him because he's so angry at what happened. He still seems wiser and more composed and wise as to how he's going about fighting. Not just going around, I know I just went into Arnold Schwarzenegger with that voice, but that's how Michael York sounds like to me. If Arnold Schwarzenegger grew up in London and he was like much younger and a much scrawnier version of himself, then he would sound like Michael York. That's my logic and I'm sticking to it. The Four Musketeers, yay, it happened. The sequel happened. The first movie. Why it happened, I don't know, but it did happen, and now it's over. Now I don't need to watch any more of these movies, because I prefer my 1993 Three Musketeers version. I said it in my previous review, and I'll say it again, that's my favorite version of the Three Musketeers. All other versions get compared to that one, so this movie compared to that one, it pales in comparison, comes nowhere close. It's better than the previous 1973 film that I watched, but this movie, you know, I can go on forgetting about it and the rest of my life will just be fine. I'm going to give the Four Musketeers 1.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
No, sir, I didn't like it.
Alright, everyone, now because my favorite part of my video is where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next. And the next one comes as a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my subscribers and contributors on this channel, James Filbury. You strike again with a recommendation of The Lincoln Lawyer. Alright, we're going to be defending Daniel Day-Lewis, who is actually coming to court in character as Lincoln, because that's how great of an actor he is. He's always method acting. So here he is. Alright. Objection, Your Honor. I've never seen this movie before, but I know that this movie keeps a whole bunch of second chance and disc traders and DVD reselling shops in business, because you go in there and you just see a whole wall full of copies of The Lincoln Lawyer, because there's so many that everyone's like, oh, I watched it, and now I'm going to send it to this resale store. So we'll check it out next time. So guys, if you've seen The Four Musketeers, what did you think about it? Between these two, which one do you prefer? What's your favorite version of the Three Musketeers, and why is it the 1993 version? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of The Lincoln Lawyer. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.